More, just a little more, just a little more.
I know we're talking about being a gay dad, but my mom, I'm married, kids, and everything. I still come out, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I still have these conversations.
And that is so, I mean, listening at, like, Ladarius had the courage, because Ladarius was way more courageous than I was. And I really want to give you that shot. Like, you really were way more courageous than I was in high school. Like, I was, a queen. That never changed. Now, I was always Jonathan, but I never said the words, because I had a girlfriend and everything. I never said the words. Ladarius came out. Like, Ladarius was like, I am gay. And he would tell his mom, I am gay. Like, he had a boyfriend, and he
Every day?
He was like, I am gay. And I remember, it was hard. It was literally, I know that part. It was hard for him to walk through that. And so it's just like, to know that you still coming. Like, I started in college because that came out, but to know that you still dealing, and it's from high school, it's like.
But you know what makes it worse though? Like, at this point, I'm married. Like, it's not a phase, boo.
And they met Will. She's met Will.
My mom loves Will.
Yeah.
But she only loves him as Will.
Right.
She doesn't love him as my husband.
Or her son.
Special friend.
No, you just Will. That's just it.
Your friend.
My friend.
Your friend.
Yeah.
But like, she knows like what we can go there. Even the same with my dad. I mean, my dad is a retired Pentecostal preacher from northeastern rural Kentucky. I'm the baby of 6. Like, I pushed every envelope I could find
Yeah.
for my family, right? And his dad is deceased, my mom is deceased. And it's interesting because it's like my dad and his mom, they'll compete with each other and not even know it. Like, they'll talk to us, well, I mean, what's his mom think about that? What's she say about that? What's she say about that? She talked to the boys, did she do this? His mom, and what's his dad say? That's like they want to compete with each other to be the better one, but at the same time, it's not full acceptance either.
Yes.
But there's hope, and there's huge evolution. Like, I mean, especially with my father. I mean, I was raised in it was rural northeastern Kentucky, and we'll leave it there, right? There was one black family in my town. But even to the point of even
a black man, look at that.
Right.
Like,
and then I adopted
real
2 black boys.
like, I'm real black. I'm real.
Yeah. But evolving to the point of, this past Thanksgiving, we were in that small town in Kentucky, and we stayed under my parents' roof. Even one night in my parents' bed. My father gave up his bed for us to sleep in as a family. Now, he still doesn't like it. He doesn't condone it. I know exactly where he stands. He said, but I want my kids comfortable.
And that's the thing, though, because even with my parents or my people,
Drink your juice, Shelby.
but even
I
with
got to step on that too, girl.
get to read. But
Let me refill us.
yes.
Come on, babe. Tell your story.
even with mine, though, I've had to come to a place of, like we said earlier, just understanding you where you are and knowing that it is a process. And like for my mom and my grandmother or whatever, it's like, well, I ain't trying to tell, my grandmother said, I ain't trying to tell you how to live your life. Only Jesus can do that. And I said, yes, Nanny. I appreciate that. But at the same sense, she still does things because she loves me.
Yes.
She loves my girls or whatever. Jonathan, he over there. But,
Okay. That's okay.
it's okay. So I just have to meet them where they're at. And I have to meet them in a place to where, to know that they love me. And I have to decide for myself, is that enough to say, okay, hey, that they love me where they're at or how they want to see me. And should I be patient enough to say, okay, well, not to acknowledge Jonathan as my boyfriend or fiance, whatever, but just as that friend or whatnot. And so I think that takes on different levels. It's kind of like an onion because you, like you said, you're going from a small town with only one black family or whatever it may be and stuff. And this onion is deep, and you have to understand that it's generational things that's going on. It's things that, as far as the family and cultures that you're in, people don't talk about things. You don't talk about Uncle Johnny that Tesla, whatever and stuff. You don't talk about these things. And so for me, one of the things that me and Jonathan, I guess, are seeing that we're trying to break curses or whatever, break generational curses. And one of those generational curses is just that being patient enough to say, okay, hey, I would like to have a conversation. I understand you don't want to have a conversation, but when you are ready, we can have that conversation. But please understand, my life is still moving forward. I just want you to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's hard to reconcile sometimes, right? I mean, and it's a struggle not only for us, but like you said, to realize that meet them where they are,
Yeah.
right? That I know we know they love us.
Yeah.
That's the
They,
thing.
they,
and
they
that's the
love
thing.
us to the
No,
best
they
of
love
their understanding and capability at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is an evolution. It's a process. It's a growing. It's an awakening. We're challenging them. We're challenging them on their Christianity and faith, truthfully, right? Like you say it's this way, but yet you're doing this. So we're challenging them at the same time without anybody even realizing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a process on both sides. It's hard to reconcile some days.
But I think when you add in youth or kids, it creates a bridge.
Yeah.
It creates
100%.
that bridge to where, okay,
Yeah.
you know, I don't understand this, but
We
I can
love
I
the
can
kids.
I can love the kids.
Yeah.
I can love the kids. And I like, I don't know what y'all.
Yes.
Like
there.
my mama came up here and visited, and Chris brought his daughters and everything. You know, I said, Mom, you know, my partner's coming up here. You know, he's gonna bring his daughters, and child Val cooked them lunch. She sat and talked with them. Loves the children.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Loves them. And then quickly said that you and your friend going there. But no, but I'm just saying but the children give the peace. They give the peace. I really think
They
they
do.
do. Because she loves the youngest, all of them. Like she talked with them, everything, and was able to kind of in that moment see us as a family or as a unit. And I think it was a glimpse of like, oh my God, it was so great. Because she's an amazing mother. So I know she'll be an amazing grandmother.
Perfect.
You know what I'm saying? Nanny is an amazing grandmother. Your mom is an amazing grandmother. So just bridging that gap will make it even more of like they can all have a slice of the pie of us all being connected. But we're understanding that if you love the kids and you love, you know, that you're gracious to our babies, then of course we're not going to hold the kids back or do anything like that. But our hope and our goal is that one day you accept us, the family.
Yeah.
You know, fully, you know.
Make no mistake, if the kids were not with us at Thanksgiving, I have no doubt we would have not gotten the master bedroom.
We would have been in the hotel room.
100%. And you know, and like my father, he has a huge soft spot for kids.
He does. So that helped out a lot. I was shocked that when he said,
Now we didn't sleep well that night. Make no mistake. He and I don't think we closed two eyes at the same time.
he was like, go to bed. He was like, y'all can sleep in my room. I'm like, no, I'm good. I mean, I'm gonna lay down, but I ain't going to bed. Not tonight.
But you're right. The kids do
they
kind of bridge that gap a little bit. It gives them something that they know. It gives them something comfortable and familiar.
Right.
And it reinstates a little bit of that hope that I think every parent has, that I can still have grandkids.
Right.
Still see my child happy in a family unit. It's a big difference.
I think that's a big thing though, because even like in this time, even with like COVID-19, even thing, you know, we're doing a lot of protesting with Black Lives Matter. You come to a point to where you see it, but you don't understand it, right?
Yeah.
And so in order to understand it though, you have to be willing to come to that table and say, okay, you know, hey, what is this? What's going on? Why do you fear police? Why do you fear, you know, being married to another man or whatever the case may be? What fears do you have? Because I know it's hard, you know, for my mom, you know, I can imagine that, you know, say you're already Black, right? That's one thing. Now you're a Black male.
How are you gonna add something?
Gay
else?
male or whatever the case may be. Now people can like try to harm you because of your preference or whatever. And there's a lot of fears, and a lot of people operate on fears, and a lot of people, you know, hold things back because of fears. And but I always am happy to have conversations, especially those with Christian faith, because you know everything you say to me is in the Bible, and you have to understand the what, who, where, and when on how it's being presented. So that you can understand how this relates to my life. You know, Jesus didn't use anybody that was perfect. He used everybody that was a misfit, a fool, a murderer, you know, just all these things. But why can't Jesus use me
Yeah.
in order to
You can use
be
anything,
effective
Lord.
in somebody's
Yeah.
life? Why do you put that limitation on it? But
Mhm.
you know, I'm sorry.
No, you
Jonathan, honey, you got you a good one. Cheers.
preach.
Mhm.
But that's the real thing. Like I think that is even that understanding, that balance that people think, oh, y'all love Jesus or you love God. Right? I'm like, yes, we have to. We better pray.
That's the
Okay.
only thing that keeps me.
That's the only thing that keeps us all. You know what I'm saying? Me and
Yeah.
Ladarius always loved Jesus. That was when we knew we didn't even understand why he made us gay, but we knew
Jesus is why we're together.
Yes, like it's just it's those things that like that is the part of our lives. That is who we are. That's how we thrive. That's who makes us who we are being. And like I think for like Chris was saying, like it's a place of understanding, and like people are now faced with like injustice in the world, but also just like our families are faced with like, oh, you gay. And so now we have to really see your gayness, but also see that God, you have a relationship with God, and then that's not something that's separate. That's a part of who I am. That's who I am. Who I am with God that's my being. I can't separate the two.
Right.
Separating God and gay, I wouldn't dare separate. I'm gay, but I love God. Like that's I don't separate. And so I think that has been a journey. That has been a process.
That is a process in itself.
I would say too, like we kind of talk about faith with our church too, and with the boys. I was nervous. We're not members of the church, but we've been visiting. We know, when you know that this is home, this is your place. We know that. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But again, there's always a but for me because I'm fearful, because even that I feel the love, I feel the acceptance. I know it's there. I know it's talked about. I know there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But when we started to talk about kids, I was like, man, what are they gonna say in children's church? Right. When we drop them off at children's church, are they talking behind our back? Like, what are they teaching my child? And then we get kids. We take them to children's church. And the director of children's church, Miss Stacy, is like, hey, dads, I love you guys. Thank you for bringing your kids. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Week after week after week. Now we're in a year of this. And she's like, I love you guys. FaceTiming, checking on the boys, doing the quarantine, FaceTiming. Yeah. Come by the church. I have a little gift for the boys because I know it's been a lot going on. I have a little token of love. Dads, I love you guys. Thank you for taking the kids in and doing what you've been doing. I'm like, okay, God, okay. So now you're telling me this is good. This is what I asked for. I asked for the thing, what you call it? The sign.
Yeah, the sign.
I asked for the sign, and here it is. So now I just have to walk in it. So I think now having kids and having a faith-based church who accepts us and our kids, it's been amazing.
Well, that in itself, as a gay Christian dad, if we want to label everything, right? That in itself was a process for him. I had a little bit of a head start, right? I was very active in the gay church in Birmingham before we even met, right? I mean, worship leader, board directors, all this stuff, right? Everything, right? And so I saw a representation, and I was accepted in a faith-based community, right? And I had, my pastor was a Black man, so it was I won't say very diverse. It was majority white. My pastor was Black, and there was about 10 other Black people. So it was. Yeah. And now in Houston, we're the exact opposite. It's a Black downtown Houston church, and there's about 10 white people.
It's three. It's just three.
You don't see the other.
Just 3 white people.
But so I had come to terms with what that would be like to be a gay Christian and be accepted in a church. And as a gay Christian dad, because there were examples of that I had gotten used to. And I think in the Black culture, there's even more challenges as a gay person, as a gay Christian, and as a gay Black dad, right? Everybody has their own challenges, but I think it's even a heightened, right? Listen. So for both of us, right, it re-encouraged me, but it gave him the peace and the understanding once we found St. John's that the senior pastors, most of the pastoral staff, I believe, is straight.
They're all straight.
I don't know for sure, but I know the two senior pastors are.
Right.
And so but to have straight Black loving Christian pastors in their 60s accept us
That was huge for me.
did miracles for him.
Yeah.
Huge. I love Jesus. I really do.
We could be on a Zoom and we'll attend virtual service on Sundays, or we'll be in praise and worship, and here comes Pastor Rudy up through the aisle. Hey, how's the boys? Where are they at? Just the fact that he remembers, the fact that he'll ask, that did wonders for this one.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, this is a straight 60-something couple pastor that gets it.
Yeah.
That's saying it's okay.
It's when you grow up in a church, what I always consider, like the pastor and the first lady, they're almost like that mother and father figure for me.
Mm-hmm.
They're those people who, in my sense, they know Jesus. Like
Yeah.
they know him. Like
they know him. They brothers and sisters with him.
they made it, right?
Yeah.
So you look up to them as examples. And when they talk about church hurt and all that kind of stuff, I wouldn't say I had church hurt. I won't say that. What I did realize was who I was. I wasn't gonna put myself in stuff, right? Yeah. So I removed myself before I realized it was gonna get there, because I knew it was gonna get there. So I removed myself.
Yeah.
And then, I was going to church. I never missed church. No matter what I do in my life, there's not gonna be a day I'm missing church if I can help myself. But then I get here and I go to a place where, like he said, there's a Black pastor. And for me, I'm a Black man, right? I lost my dad already. And so it's like, dang, this man who him and my dad would have been around the same age. I'm like, and he loved me? And he accept me and my husband?
And your family.
And my family. And then his wife, again, I don't have we in Houston by ourselves. So she's like a mother figure to me. So it's like, I have acceptance from family, right?
Family of choice,
but they love us and my kids. And right now in my life, I'm at a place, you don't have to love me, right? You can accept me and move on, but my kids, this is the most important thing in my life right now.
Yes.
And if you don't love them, boo-boo. Deuces. You gotta go.
That was big. I'm sorry, babe, but that was big for me in that process, because I told Chris this, because he was saying, we need to find a church and we need to look for a church. And I was like, you're right. I've been in church all my life. You know what I'm saying? I was ordained as a minister.
Yes,
I've been in church all my life. I was not going to be a part of any church that condemned me. I just was not in that spirit no more. That was not in my vein. I'm too old to be in a church, and I'm paying you tithe and offering. And
exactly.
You tell me I'm going to
That's another word.
And then my babies, our daughters are coming, and you gonna call us going to hell in front of my daughter? No. Right. I say, you want to see a protest in this church? Don't do that. Don't do that to me and have me act up in front of the pastor first lady, and I have to grab my purse and leave. I'm not doing that.
It's a clutch.
It's a clutch. I do a clutch.
Right, it's a clutch.
But that was really, and so I'm with Ladarius. That was very concerning for me. Like, I was like, really like, I was like, I ain't moved. He was like, you don't like this pastor? I'm like, I ain't moved. If they ain't talking about gay lives matter, I ain't moved. I'm not. I ain't for the shout. I ain't moved. I ain't nothing. And it was important, to find that right church with blended diversity, because we saw a lot of white gay churches, but that journey is very different. It's very different.
It is very.
Very different than a diverse church with different people that can tell different stories, so that our girls can see themselves in the church. We can see ourselves in the church. And so that's been our journey. We were able to find a church right now through Zoom. So like I used to go to this church in DC. Mm-hmm. It's called Mount Enon, and it is it's affirming. It's a Baptist church. It's affirming. I don't know. It's not a gay church. It's an affirming church. And he talked about how Black trans lives matter. And that's this is my pastor. This is amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I went to his church all the time. And when I knew Babe liked it, I was like, hey. He was like, let's make a move. And I was like, yes, because I want, and when our daughters can look at it, I want them to see things that they can be like, okay, I want to rock.
Can relate to.
Yeah.
That gives them some normalcy and some comfort.
Yeah.
And I think it's something I think where we all kind of hinted towards though, because we have to understand that even our parents, pastors, first ladies, they're human.
Yes.
And so when you grow up, you kind of look at your parents as like these superheroes. They can do no wrong. When they go to the bathroom, they stuff don't stink. It's like nothing, you know?
I always thought my dad.
But, you know, it's kind of like when you get to a certain age, you're like, man, you have issues just like I have issues.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing with, you know, just people in that Christian walk is that, you know, you put limits on who and what God will use or how he will use it in order to help or bless other people and stuff. Put those type of themes in my girl's life. Because I told myself, I can't always be there for you. I want to always be there for you, but I need you to know some kind of base, some kind of source. And for me in my life, that's Jesus Christ, you know? And so in that space, I'm not going to force it on them, but I am going to let them know, hey, this is the path that your father took. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to raise them in a way that, you know, I would take. And although, you know, I may make mistakes, might write the right decisions or whatever the case may be, I want you to be able to make good choices and be aware and be able to have a sound mind so you can, when you make that decision, say, hey, I choose to do this. Mm-hmm. Own up what you choose to do. Yeah. You know?
And that they know a loving God.
Yeah.
I don't want them to grow up in a world where God is this scary thing that's above them, that is so disconnected from them, and that if they make a mistake, that he'll stop loving them.
Yeah.
And so I always say, you know, just like I can love you, and even when you make mistakes. That's like we had a conversation where I said, there's nothing you can do that I'm going to stop loving you.
Right.
There's nothing you can do I'm going to stop loving you. I'm going to love you. I may be mad at you, but I'm going to love you.
Mad at you, might be disappointed. That don't mean I don't love
you.
I turn off the internet, you know, just crazy stuff.
You know. but I want to know just that I love you and that we serve a God that loves you. And so if you, the only thing you know is that to pray and know that God loves me where I am. He loves me. That God, and I don't want to put gender on God, that God, man, whatever you need him to do, loves you.
I
am loves you. If you, that's all you get, baby, I've done my job. That in your time of need, you can go to God. And so that is a big thing because my mom did a great job putting God in me, but we also knew a God that I was fearful of too. I was scary. I didn't know that. I thought I had to be perfect in order to connect with them. I thought I had to be, you know, this heterosexual man to know that God would love me.
Right.
And that's not who he was. That's not who he is. You know, that's not God, you know.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Well, so we come close to the end. We didn't cover a lot of the points. Well, I do want to ask this question before we go to the last little segment. But in this dynamic, well, two parts. In this dynamic, with having kids, has it changed your relationship? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, you were in the newlywed stage. You can hug, you kiss all day. You can do things and stuff like that. Has it changed having kids in the house all the time?
Child, let me speak on that for about 3 seconds. Whoa, Lord.
It's been a struggle for him to keep clothes on.
Listen. So no. So, how can I put this? Because people gonna see this, and I want to be politically correct. Right? No. So I am a person. I am a person of
freedom,
right? and by freedom, I love Jesus, right? And I do go back to the beginning.
Don't put Jesus in there.
I was gonna try to.
Don't put Jesus in.
Don't put Jesus in this one, girl. Don't do that.
I was gonna
rewind.
Before or after the leak? Which one?
This after this.
Right. Before the leave.
I was gonna talk about it and try to put it together. But anywho, that's what I am. I'm a person. I just believe in the human body. I love the human body. I feel like it should be celebrated, Jesus. Right? That's just who I am.
I always believe in the human body.
I love the human body, and I think it should be celebrated. I don't believe it should be tied down to a thing, right?
To clothing, that's what it means.
You need to be naked.
Yes, Lord.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things I that, you know, we talk about relationships and stuff like that. So I would say this: we got the kids, and they were living here that the very first few days. I was like, oh, they always around.
Right.
I was like, they all the time.
They don't.
You waking up.
Listen,
Right.
What
Yeah.
you doing?
we was used to just weekends. I was like, oh, this is weekends, you know. Hey, when we have a two, I'm like, oh, hey, good morning. You know,
And
3 o'clock in the morning, climbing into bed with you.
Oh, they got us. That got us. Okay, so I will say this. So we have a younger one. We have a younger one now. He's 5. So before he turned 5, well, a little bit after, I don't know, when he first moved in, a couple of months after he moved in, he was frequently getting out of bed, coming in the room, just jumping in the bed and going back to sleep. No, man.
Live up.
You can't do that.
oh,
You can't do that. No, not in this house.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about being scared and cutting a light on and staying in your room. So,
But it has changed the dynamic clearly. So back to your question. It has changed the dynamic. So certainly in the beginning, I think you're just more aware, you're more cautious. But at the same time, we wanted to give them an example that love is love.
Yep.
And, especially Jeremiah, the older one, he may ask questions and, we want to reiterate, look, I mean, Daddy had girlfriends. Daddy was engaged to girls. Daddy had boyfriends.
Trey, Will. Oh my God! Come on, Trey.
Hold on, wait. Let me pause there just for a second. He wasn't straight. He had a moment.
No. I was gay, but I again, it's a level of acceptance. It's an exploratory time. It's a trying to fit into a mold, but accept yourself at the same time. It's all of that. But I want them to know that love is love. You can love whomever you want. And so I think over the course of the last year, I've always been me, right? Like I'm comfortable, right? I mean, if I want to kiss my husband in front of the kids, I'm always gonna kiss you goodbye if I'm going out the door to work. Tell you I love you, whatever the case may be. I want them to see that. I want them to see what a loving couple looks like. I think that's part of our job as parents, to set that role model for them, that you need to be respected and you need to be loved.
Yes.
The rest we can work with, but you have to be loved and you have to be respected as your individual person. And so I want to set that example for them. I would say certainly the first few months strained the intimacy.
That's what I was just about to ask. Doing
right. I was trying to think of the way to put it
doing
on
it.
camera.
It's called
camera ready.
Relations.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Relation.
I thought we couldn't do nothing.
I said Sherman needs relations, honey.
I was like, I can't do that in my children right here. No. I put my nightgown tight. I said, you're not.
Lock that door and turn the TV on, baby.
We've realized, intimacy is very important.
Find that mid-afternoon closet time.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
You get so creative. And again, and I tell people this, like, first of all, I'm a whole married man and I'm a whole grown man.
Be grown.
So I'm super grown now. I used to be a kid, but now I'm grown up. So
Put away childish things.
Right.
I did. So now we have kids in the home. Hey boys, go play your video games. Daddy and Papa be out in just a moment. And by just a moment, I mean, don't you go out your room until we let you know. But now we're at that point. Now, was it always, at the beginning, was it easy? No, it was new. It felt weird. It felt awkward.
They were adjusting too, right? You don't want to make them uncomfortable.
They knocking on the door and stuff. Hello, can I come in?
Yeah. Knock.
Just a minute.
My position though was my girls knew. The door is closed, it's locked, we'll turn
right.
back around, and we'll be out. We come out. Whatever.
Right.
But of course,
so
it's different. It's different though, because I've been living this life for 13 years or whatever with the girls and
right.
stuff. And Jonathan is new to this, so I don't want to take away from Jonathan. So I said, okay, hey, we can, but You know, if you don't feel comfortable, I understand. You want to put a 2 weeks hiatus on it or
Like
whatever.
2 weeks, we're not doing nothing. I'm not doing anything.
You know, I'll meet you where you're at. But
it broke.
2 weeks is a long time, sis.
Comma. And I just.
It didn't last. I don't think we did 2 days. Listen.
Yeah, you know, space and opportunity arises, and you're available, I'm available. Now, you know,
right.
Hey,
it was just so nerve wracking. Like, you know, I think because I was like, I can't drink liquor. I'm putting it up. I'm not drinking.
I did that for like the first 2 weeks.
That was us.
And I was like, no, you baby, you're gonna have a mimosa at brunch.
I was like,
I'll be fine.
I had a little mimosa, and I was like, no, because you know, what if something happens? I need to be present. I can't miss a moment. And then like week 2, both of us was like, look, open the liquor cabinet. We got to do this.
I was like, I said, no, I'm drinking tonight. I said, I'm drinking tonight.
Yeah. They're going to go to bed and we're going to break this bottle.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the more the disciplinarian? Who's the more like easygoing or more, I guess, I won't say softer parent, but more of like the let them talk and then breathe, you know, that kind of stuff.
I'm the let them talk, let them breathe, but I also discipline hard. Like I'm working on me. Okay. The thing about being a parent, I've learned a lot about myself and some of the things I've not liked, truthfully, like 100% truthfully speaking.
Wow.
So it's a process for me too, right? Yeah. And I outburst, but when I outburst, it may be 60 seconds, but then I'm done. I'm over it. Daddy's gonna come talk to you. We're gonna talk it out. We're gonna hug it out. Like we move on, we good. This one, good. He'll hold a grudge. He will hold something. He's gotten so much better. He truthfully has.
I'm working.
Truthfully has. So I guess I would say he's more of the disciplinarian, if you will. And I'm more the pushover, if you had to label it.
It's hard.
It's process.
And again, you know how you learn things about yourself. One thing I've always known about myself, this is one thing that I could tell you I've been knowing since I was 5 years old. I don't forgive. I hold on and I will grab that thing. And once it's there, it's there. There is no going back from it. Don't tell me you didn't say it because I'm going to remember. I'm a verbatim person. I'm going to repeat it. And you ain't going to like boom, 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 right? You would say, well, why would you do that with the children, right?
4 and 5 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. Let me just restate that.
And I tell
what happened 2 minutes ago. But go ahead.
Right.
Oh, I go in. Like even today, I went in on them. I said, you remember what you did yesterday? You remember what you did 6 months ago? I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad about it. And until we can work through that, I'm working on myself.
So like I'm that outburst person.
Baby self.
Right. I have to learn how to control my outbursts. But the flip side is once I've had that outburst, and they know, I mean, he's Papa, I'm Daddy, right? Like they know that. Like they know, okay, Daddy crazy, he's just gonna spout off, but then we good. So we can come back to Daddy. I mean, I can, and unfortunately, I've had moments where I was not my best self.
Yeah,
it happens.
That happens.
But then they know that, okay, after 5 minutes, Daddy's going to come and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk it out. Daddy's going to say, okay, hold on. Now, Daddy shouldn't have responded that way. But let's talk about why Daddy responded that way and why you got to there. And so we'll get there and then we hug it out and they're like, oh, you're the best daddy in the world.
Every time.
And he's like, I don't understand. Like you yell, you do this, and you still the best daddy in the world. Like, so it's been a process for both of us
but it's
in
new.
different ways.
Yeah. It's new. It's a lot of like new occurrences, a lot of new
100%.
Emotions, a lot of new like just different things that's going on. So it's a process. It's a learning curve. You know.
Yeah. Who's the disciplinarian with us, man?
I'll let you answer that.
No, you answer it. Okay, he the more the disciplinarian. I'm hard. I don't be wanting, whipping in trouble. I be like, listen, let's talk.
He's had a little more practice, that's all.
I do. It's hard because it's like, even with like, because I do teach kids. And so I do know, I do have like the teacher voice and like, let's sit down. I'm really being serious. Like, stop. Like, I still have so much love. I'd be like, grow up and have so many issues and mad at me. So it's hard. It's so hard to be like, this more disciplinarian, I guess, one. And I think that's a lot of responsibility on him because I'd be like, you need to go on that.
The consistency is hard.
Yeah.
Because you're firm, you're consistent with that. But then we're all human. So we all get to the point of, I'm tired of being hard. I'm tired of telling them no. I'm tired of doing this. Fine, do that right now. But again, like you said, it's new. We're human.
So new,
The process. Just like we talked about our parents. I mean, Jonathan, in your situation, you're all of a sudden having 3 kids in your environment. For us, it wasn't like a new parent situation where we had a newborn, we had it from birth, we was able to mold it and love it and caress it and do all these wonderful things. And then we had a second child. No, we got 2 kids, boom, from day one.
Yeah.
4.5 years apart that had this crazy upbringing that we're having to deprogram and to show them what true love is.
Yeah.
And that's a different dynamic in itself.
Yeah. That's true. I think that in our dynamic, because I'm just always, I'm always like, oh, girls, let's just talk, what's wrong? You know what I'm saying? And I know with him, because, and this is a true dynamic, when you're in a blended family, as I'm learning, I am a translator. Yeah. So I have to, when daddy is acting, like he like, no, sit down. I'm like, let me go tell you why he's telling you to sit down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have that explanation when I was growing up. It was sit down. And I was like, I better go sit down. I don't even know what I did. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that is in that process. But also, too, he's the daddy that they've known most of their life, and I'm a new daddy. And so, too, I'm trying to find that voice in that they will listen to, that they will trust to listen to. And so I'm more of like, get to know me, trust it, and be in that process because it is so new. And that, I know this daddy in that voice, if he tells you to sit down, you're going to go ahead and sit down. And my voice is like, ooh. Now I think like, okay, Jonathan, now sit down. You're right. But I think at first it was like, who are you? What is your name? Please.
But I think you'll find too, as you get more into it, end up complimenting each other. So, for example, I mean, real talk, the last couple of days have been very stressful and hard for him, right? I mean, he's been home on paternity leave, doing the thing for several months now. During quarantine, things are closed down, all this stuff. I've still been going to work every day. So I get a break. I get an outlet. And even before COVID, like, we would balance each other. We all have our days, and we would pick up on each other's days. Like I picked up the last couple of days that, okay, he's kind of giving him hell the last couple of days. So when daddy gets home, okay, let me balance this out a little bit. Let me calm everybody down. Let's talk about this. Let's do this. But then adversely, daddy has had his moments where he's blown his top, snapped the off.
Yeah.
And Papa has come in and been like, now boys, it's okay. Daddy's just, this. So I think you kind of learn your yin and yang, so to speak, right? Where you balance each other out as parents. And that's the part of being in tune with each other as not only soulmates, but as parents too, to better support your kids. Like because we're all human. We were sitting in bed last night and I said to him, life kind of just sucks. Like life is hard. This whole adulting thing, take me back to kindergarten.
If I could go back to
this is hard.
Listen.
If I could do it all over again.
It's hard. Life is hard, y'all.
But it's rewarding.
Yes.
Me and the boys have been out. We've been out as a family. And when people come up to us, it's like, oh, are these your kids? And the first time I say yes, y'all, I could have bawled my eyes out. Not because they said anything special. They were like, are these your kids? You mean like, simple. But it was like, dang, these are my kids.
Yeah.
Like, especially now after adoption, our names show up on the birth certificates as their parents. Like, there's no more, their last name is now our last name. It is so overwhelming. And I think that's what happened, especially in our situation. Everything has changed, right? So we got third grader going to the fourth grade who now has to learn how to spell his new last name.
Which is a long hyphenated
It's too long.
name.
It's too long. So this was our first Father's Day, of course. We had the boys, Did we have boys? No, we didn't have the boys last year. That's why this was our first one. It was scary for me.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy. It's like, why was it scary? Like, it's Father's Day, right? I wanted them to, for me, I wanted them to celebrate him, right? Because for me, he's an amazing father, like an amazing dad. So I wanted them. I'm like, we're at home. We went to the mall. We got a mask on. I'm like, look, dudes, we got to go find something for daddy. Like, blah blah blah. And for them to look for something, like put their energy into it, I was like, I hope he appreciates it. When I wake up and then I have a gift, and you know me, I'm stupid. I'm because the boys don't understand a lot of stuff. So I'm like, whatever, child. But when I wake up, the first thing is Happy Father's Day. Like instead of Good morning, can we go play? It was Happy Father's Day. And they ran to him and it was like, can we give him his gift? Can we give him his gift? And I was like, for me? Girl, y'all celebrate me on Mother's Day. No.
I don't get no presents on Mother's Day. I nothing. I'm with you. I got nothing for Mother's Day. Nothing.
Nothing. But they celebrated and they gave me
I'm sorry, Chris.
I didn't know.
Right.
Next
The more
time,
you know.
flowers.
Listen, me and Jonathan, we know what we want. But no, the boys had a canvas made of a picture that we had just taken a few weeks prior of them made. And I was like,
Girl, that almost got in my throat right then. Hold on, wait. You
you
did
know,
what?
we're crying. And then, you know, for them, they got him a daddy robe, as we call it. Because we go to the mall, and for me, it was the energy they were giving into it. We go to the mall, and it's like, well, what can we buy? And I'm like, anything under this price, okay? Okay, this is your budget, okay? And they were literally looking at numbers and saying, oh, no, that costs too much. Oh, wait, he doesn't like that. Oh, we got him that last time, or he got that for Christmas. And I was like, okay. And they found he got the robe, and I was like, y'all good. Oh, y'all really good. But
Big good shoppers.
but to celebrate a Father's Day for me, and I can't speak for him, but I know for me it was breathtaking. It's something I would never experience again because it was my first. So we have this thing what we call it's our last first. So we have a lot of last first. And that was our last first Father's
We've
Day.
now cycled through a full year, so we've cycled through all the firsts.
All the first. So
at least of like an annual type thing.
So we do that a lot. So we'll do something where it's like, this is our last first. Like we'll never experience this for the first time ever again. And so for that day, I was like, I looked at him, I was like, this is our last first Father's Day. Like, this was amazing. Like, I'm okay. Like, I could die tomorrow. And like, I made it.
When she did that, I thought that was that moment. It was like that too. Like, this is my first Father's Day. Like, my daughter gave me this. Like, my daughters.
Yeah.
All of them. All now.
Yeah, three.
Three babies.
They don't die, they multiply, baby.
And then each single, like I said, they each gave something. Like, you know what I'm saying? The little one, even when she found that chapstick, I don't know where she got it. We lost
she
it.
made your pendant.
She did. She
put it on
we
the
lost it as soon as we got in the house. We finding them working. If you watching it, we finding it. But but even with that, like it was just like you thought of me doing that, but you really did. Like you really didn't think like and for me it was just like wanting to be a parent. I was like, this is my first Father's Day. You know, and I really like I wanted to be about Chris. We had been talking with May. I was like, this is what we're gonna do for Chris. I want to do this. We want to make sure that this is special because I wanted because he hadn't saw his girls on Father's Day in a minute.
Wow.
I wanted to be him, so I really thought it was about Chris. And then even he gave me a very special present on Father's Day. You know, I love watches. Listen. And he gave me like a jewelry case to keep all my babies in, you know, I need them each. And so, you know, I did that, even that he took out time to make it, you know, and I did it for him like a Father's Day for each other, like that, you know, he knows that this is important to me. So, and I know it's important to me. So what do you want people to know about being a gay dad? Last thing, what do you want people to know just a little more about being first a dad and then being a gay dad? Anybody can start it off.
I would say they're all the same. I feel parenthood is so, we put titles on a lot of things, and I get it. It is different. It is different being a heterosexual dad and a homosexual dad, right? But the only difference is just the word. because we're all there for the same reason, to serve and protect our kids from hurt, harm, and danger. And as long as we're all there to protect our kids, I want everybody to know who's watching this, you know, it's okay. Whomever you are, wherever you are, you have support, you have love, and there's nothing anybody can take away from you. Don't worry about the title. Get it? Don't worry about the title. We're gay dads, and it's okay. Yeah. That's all I have. It's okay.
And that was a preach.
Right.
I try not to go in too hard.
Let me get my fan because I got to put Slay on it. Hold on, wait.
Look, I'm trying not to preach because I ain't bring my Bible scriptures out for this word tonight.
Slay. Great Slay friend, great Slay.
Man, we got
Got a fan. We got a fan. The fan.
Right.
All right, Will, what do you want people to know just a little more about being a dad, or just a little more about being a gay dad?
Yeah, I think that, again, we do put we tend to put labels on everything. And so, yes, we are gay dads, right? So there's a different dynamic, but embrace it. Embrace you and just be you. Kids are loving and forgiving. Just be you. Just embrace that moment. And to know that it's okay to make mistakes. Any parent, mom, dad, you're going to make mistakes. And it's okay. You're not in it by yourself. It's okay. Be you.
I want to slay again.
That's what we came here to do, baby. Slay.
That was amazing. Bang. What you want to know about being a dad and a gay dad?
I think I would say the same thing as far as the labels are concerned. But I think that just a basic principle of love, a basic principle of what that looks like. Love yourself as you would love other people. So that's going to entail forgiveness. That's going to entail patience. That's going to entail, trust and keeping that. I think in that, however your situation may look, whether it be a single parent, a married couple, just whatever the case may be, that you come in a place of love so that you can be there to support that seed that is growing into something more. I think oftentimes that, we try to do a lot to make sure we keep fertile ground for our children. You have better than what I had, or you have options to what I have or whatnot. But you want to make sure that as that seed grows and it develops or whatever, that you trim away those things that are dead or those things that are not good for your child or whatever, so that when they produce their fruit, that you're operating in a sense of not what can I gain from you, but what can I do for you?
Yes.
So that's just a principle that I try to operate on. A lot of times I tell my girls, I say, I don't need you to do anything, I don't need to take anything from you or whatever. All that I do, I want you to be better. I want you to be your best at what you can be.
Yes.
So I think, again, taking the titles away, because everybody likes to be in a title. Everybody likes to be in a group. That's just human nature. I understand it. I get it. But you have to understand that your household is special. Your household is unique. Your household is different from any other household. But in that, you have, like Spider-Man, great power gains great responsibility. So, you have to be able to manage that accordingly. And then, like y'all said, learn where it's okay. Hey, when I look at me and I'm doing outbursts, or if I'm doing whatever the case may be and stuff, maybe I need to figure out a way to curtail that. And it may take 5, 6, 2 years or whatever, to kind of
Come on, man.
whatnot. But you're working on it, because not just for the betterment of yourself, but you're doing it for the betterment of your child or for your youth and whatnot.
Amen.
And it's okay to tell your child, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Daddy shouldn't have responded that way.
Yeah.
And for our 2 boys, like, I will do that, because I'm not perfect. I make plenty of mistakes.
Right.
That I've struggled, 100% transparency. I've struggled with those outburst moments, but they're moments. And Seconds later, I'm over it. And then I go talk to him and we talk, look, Daddy's sorry for reacting the way he did. He should not have done that. But let's talk about why I reacted. And then for them to love me, and then for the 9-year-old to say, it's okay, Daddy, we all make mistakes.
Wow. They have such wisdom in small bodies.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
Jesus.
That was powerful. That was powerful. They got me in my throat.
That's like the 5th time tonight.
Hey, we get it.
that's normal.
But I work with kids who all the time, and I always say this, who don't have love. So
Right.
young babies, I work with kids in the foster care system.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so I'm so thankful that they were able to find you guys in a home that loves them. So make your mistakes. So it's like us, we're gonna make mistakes. But I always tell Chris, I said, our babies need to go see some of those kids who I teach. And they'll be like, oh, Daddy, listen,
Right.
Yeah.
you ain't did nothing compared to some of the other babies, because some of them don't have that home. And so
Right.
I always try to love in the way that God loves, and that's without limits. And so there's no limits to the love that I can give. And I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. It's imperfect. I'm not God, but I'm trying. Excuse me. I'm trying. I'm trying to be the best person and father, gay or straight, whatever you are. Be the best person
Best John.
that you are called to be.
Yeah.
Don't ever feel that this is by chance. You got a child, it's by destiny. By destiny. God ordained you to have that child. This is a part of your purpose. So take that. Take that baby and love them without limits. Shelter them and give them the image that they should look for in the world. Give them the image of love at home so that when they go out into the world, they'll see love without limits.
That's right.
Know your purpose, live and walk in that purpose. Every moment. Even those conversations where you don't feel like being bothered, be like, oh, okay, let me do this as a moment. Because I want you to live in a world without, that you know that I am love without limits and that I can give love without limits. And if we do that, then we can definitely create a bigger and brighter future. So
Amen to that.
Slay.
Right.
Yes.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to Just a Little More. I'm so excited that you tuned in. Please like, subscribe, and click the little bell below, and send this to your friend, your cousin, your mama. Please send this to a gay dad, a gay mom, a straight dad, a straight mom, a friend, an auntie who's raising a baby. And I hope this inspires them to be even better. And I love you guys. See you soon. Don't hang up, y'all.